If you've been following the watch industry lately, you've probably noticed that Seiko keeps increasing its prices, especially in India. Watches that were once budget recommendations are now creeping higher in prices and are not value for money anymore. That's why I've been paying more attention to Timex. Over the past few years, they've been on an incredible run, releasing hit after hit and quietly becoming one of the best value brands in the industry. So, while casually browsing through their latest releases, something immediately caught my eye: a brand new automatic field watch, the Timex Expedition Capstone. Rugged looks, clean design, and a price that somewhat made sense. So, I bought one. After spending some time with it, I can confidently say this is one of the most compelling automatic field watches you can buy right now, although it is not without a few caveats. So let's get into this review. The first thing that stands out is how different this watch looks compared to the field watch designs. Rather than using a traditional round field watch case, Timex has opted for a slightly cushion-shaped design with angular lugs. The stainless steel case is entirely brushed. No unnecessary polishing, no flashy surfaces, just clean, rugged tool watch look. Talking about the dial, it manages to look busy and clean at the same time. The matte black dial is extremely legible. Large Arabic numerals dominate the outer portion of the dial, while the contrasting blue 24-hour time track adds just enough color without distracting from the overall design. The hands are filled with Lume and there is neatly integrated date window at 3 o'clock. Although I would have preferred a black date window for a much more cleaner look. Everything on the dial is clean, functional, and timeless. Now let's talk about the bracelet because this genuinely exceeded my expectations. It features solid links and surprisingly feels premium and well built for the price. It has a reassuring heft without feeling bulky, and overall it comes across as a quality bracelet. My only real complaint is lack of micro adjustments. It's comfortable as it is, but having the ability to make small adjustments would have taken this bracelet from good to excellent. Talking about the dimension, the watch comes in a 39mm stainless steel case and is around 12mm thick with a 48.2mm lug-to-lug distance. On paper, those sound like pretty standard dimensions, but interestingly, the watch actually looks larger than it wears. I think that's because the dial is relatively compact compared to the broad case shape and the longer lug-to-lug profile, which gives it a much more visual presence on the wrist. Thankfully, those lugs curve down nicely, so instead of sticking out, they wrap around the wrist and make the watch feel surprisingly comfortable. Personally, I'd say if your wrist is around 6.2 inches or larger, this should fit you really well. Flipping the watch over, you're greeted by an exhibition caseback that lets you admire the automatic movement in action. Timex hasn't officially disclosed the movement they're using, but based on its specifications and appearance, I believe it's a Miyota 8215. It's a tried and tested Japanese workhorse that's been powering the entry-level automatic watches for years. It's known for being reliable, easy to service, and dependable in everyday use. You also get around 40 hours of power reserve along with hand winding and hacking. One nice design touch is that Timex has printed its logo and the Expedition Mountain emblem in the back of the center of the exhibition window. Timex hasn't specified what material they've used for the display caseback crystal, but judging by it, I suspect it's a mineral crystal. Honestly, that's not a deal breaker because the part you'll be looking through every day, the front crystal, is where it really matters. Up front, Timex has fitted the capstone with flat sapphire crystal featuring an anti-reflective coating, and it makes a huge difference. The dial is incredibly clear from almost every angle with little glare, making it exceptionally easy to read outdoors and under bright lighting. It's one of those details you don't fully appreciate until you wear a watch without anti-reflective coating. And considering the several brands still using mineral crystal on watches in these price range, I'm looking at you, Seiko, Timex deserves a genuine credit for including sapphire here. The signed crown is another nice detail. It has an Expedition Mountain logo engraved onto it. One thing I did notice is that the crown has just a tiny bit of play. It's not loose enough to be concerning, and it doesn't affect winding and time setting at all, but it isn't as rock solid as you'll find in more expensive watches. Once you actually start winding, the action is smooth. The crown is push and pull and not a screw down crown, considering the watch has only 50 meters of water resistance. It's kinda disappointing to get a 50 meters of water resistance in a field watch, but in day-to-day life, I think it should be fine. I do have to mention one thing. While I was checking out the specs of the watch on the Timex website, they had listed 50 meters of water resistance. But I checked again today and found out it says 100 meters. So I don't know if it's a glitch or they have updated the model with 100 meters of water resistance. They probably didn't, but they need to fix the listed spec. Now let's talk about the lume. If there's one area where Timex had needed improvement, it was the lume. But I think they have improved the lume on this watch. You get lume on the hands, hour markers and the 12-hour numerals, which is nice to see. However, there is a noticeable difference in brightness between them. The hands glow much brighter while the hour markers and the numerals appear significantly dimmer. The lume is decent, at least on the hands, and is perfectly usable for checking time at night. As a comparison to the lume on my Timex Q Continental GMT and the Addis Dive, which has a superluminova. This is after 10 minutes of charging it up. In my experience, they have improved the lume, at least on the hands, but still it is not as good as superluminova. The watch is available at Rs 27,999 on official Timex website, but I think you can get it for cheaper if you wait for discounts. Overall, after spending some time with Timex Expedition Capstone, I genuinely think it is one of the most affordable automatic watches you can buy. With Seiko continuing to move further upmarket, there's a noticeable gap in the affordable automatic segment, and Timex seems perfectly positioned to fill it. If you're looking for a versatile everyday automatic that offers modern specifications, classic styling, and genuinely value without breaking a bank, the Capstone deserves to be on your shortlist. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.